Hello everyone, and welcome back to another figure review. Today, we're taking a look at the 2024 San Diego Comic-Con event exclusive Goku, Kid Gohan, and Flying Nimbus, or Kintoun. As the name suggests, this set was originally offered at San Diego Comic-Con, and at the time of writing and recording this review, is now available for pre-order on Premium Bandai. So if you live in an area that P Bandai supports, you can avoid the scalpers at the cost of waiting 7 months. But, is it worth getting it shipped to your front door at this very moment? We'll talk about that in this review, but I can tell you me personally, I'm excited to have this set in hand, and also at the fact that we finally have an early Z Goku with the necessary pieces to recreate the iconic Chala Hechala opening. So with that said, let's dive in. Starting with the packaging, the box is going to be done in a negative contrast than what we're used to seeing. Instead of a white box, it's going to be done in black with a monochromatic orange exposing Goku, Gohan, and Nimbus. Peeking into the display window, Goku himself can be seen with Gohan off to the side and Nimbus behind them. The right side of the box continues the monochromatic image of our trio with the full color image of that image. It's Inception. Huh? I'll see myself out. But silly puns aside, the back side of the box is going to give us a sneak peek at what all comes packaged with this bundle. We can see the power pole accessory, different poses from the intro, and our heroes flying on Nimbus wherever their next adventure may take them. The left side of the box gives us another monochromatic image of Goku and Gohan with the name of this set clearly visible. Here's a quick look at the top through the sunroof. And the bottom to round off the packaging. For the paint and detail, we've got a couple things to look at here, so let's start off with Goku. Goku here is literally a retooling of the Sand Raised on Earth body with the lighter shade of orange for the gi, brand new head sculpts, and some very minor tweaks to his body, mainly in the boots. The boots are going to be done in a more rounded toe, and the tassels are missing their traditional knots. Other than that, this is going to be your typical 2.0 Goku that is modeled after his appearance during the earlier episodes of Dragon Ball Z and its iconic opening. As for the faces and hair sculpts, these are easily some of the best that we've gotten on a base form Goku. I'd honestly say they're better than the superhero release, and I think those are pretty solid. The gi itself is going to be done in a lighter orange than the Sand Raised on Earth Goku, which has a generous amount of shading to really make it stand out, and the Kame logo is going to be printed on perfectly. Fun fact, this is the only Goku in the line that has the Kame logo on both sides of his shirt. According to Toy Arc anyways. Somebody in the comments can correct me if they want. Now moving on to Gohan, he's got quite a bit going on despite being such a small figure. Most of the colors that they used for Gohan are going to be done in a matte finish without any shading to really speak of, but there's something about the colors that Tamashii went with that really makes this little guy stand out. It's not too dull, and it's not too glossy either. It's a very happy medium in my opinion. And again, for being as small as he is, there's a lot of attention to detail that Tamashii put in. The 4-star Dragon Ball on top of Gohan's head is going to be done in the same translucent orange as the Earth and Namekian Dragon Balls. As for his outfit, it's going to be nicely accented with red paint, and the print work for the kanji of Sun is done just as well as Goku's Kame symbol. His tail is molded in green plastic and is painted in a light brown. The cuffs are going to be done in white, and the boots are painted black with white for the tassels and a little bit of red for the soles. And if you're curious how this Gohan looks compared to the Kid Gohan that came with Raditz, here's a quick side-by-side comparison. Lastly, but surely not least, we have Nimbus. This chungus of a cloud is going to be molded in pale yellow with a bit of shading here and there to accent the folds and give the illusion that the tail tapers off. With a bit of lighting, these sculpted details are only further enhanced. I originally thought this was going to be a reissue of the Nimbus that came with Kid Goku, but I was completely wrong about that. This is an entirely new sculpt that is almost twice the size of the original, and I think Tamashii did a killer job with it. Now overall, I feel that the execution of this 3-pack was done justice by Tamashii Nations, and we have everything we need to recreate some of the iconic poses from the intro and the interlude. The only negatives I can find with this set is how concentrated some of the shading is on Goku's gi. For example, the lower right leg is almost another couple shades of orange entirely, but when you turn the figure over, we can see that it's the same orange mold that they used throughout the figure. Other than that, the only other straw I can grasp at, and honestly it's a bit of a reach, is the lack of shading on the skin tone of Goku and Gohan. But let's be honest, there's really not any when you look at the source material that Tamashii's obviously been pulling from. Which, even then, when you start comparing other figures such as the Sand Raised on Earth Goku, they're not too far off. But we'll touch on that in a bit. Again, I'm just tickled that we have this set in hand, even if it's like our 40th Goku. And I'm not keeping count, you're the one keeping count. Anywho, let's change it up and knock the accessories out first before we move on to articulation. As I stated in my news video updating y'all on the SDCC Event Exclusives, this has got to be Tamashii's most jam-packed release to date when you exclude any of Goku's accessory packs. Out of the box for Goku, we're going to get 3 extra faces for a total of 4, 6 extra hands for a total of 8, an extra windswept head sculpt, and the power pole. For the faces we get a cocky little smirk, a teeth-gritting face that is excellently sculpted, a happy-go-lucky face, and the same happy-go-lucky face, but this time he's looking down to the right, which is perfect for looking over his shoulder. As for the extra head sculpt, it's a nice matte finish that is perfect for those in-flight poses. Here's a look at all those faceplates, but with that head sculpt on. Besides the 2 fists that come attached, we get 2 martial arts style hands, 2 for holding the power pole, 1 right hand for holding Gohan, and his iconic wave hand. The power pole itself is just a molded piece of red plastic that's about a ½ inch taller than Goku. I didn't pick up the original accessory, so I'm happy that this bundle came with it. There's really only one specific scene in the intro where he uses the power pole, and that's when he drops in at the end. Getting Goku to hold the power pole is pretty self-explanatory. Now for Gohan. He's going to come with 2 accessories, an extra outfit that'll give him a little more range when you want him to sit, and a stand piece to help stabilize Gohan when he's riding on Goku's shoulder. If you're like me and live life on the edge, you really don't have to use it. But if you're worried that the little guy could take a fall that'd rewrite his sand programming, I'd take full advantage of it. To swap out the outfit, all you'll need to do is remove Gohan's head, disconnect the arms from their sockets, pull the current outfit off, then slide the other one over. Once you've done that, reattach all the pieces, and you're good to go. Lastly, the Flying Nimbus. Nimbus here is going to come with 2 extra tail pieces, one where Nimbus is flying straight ahead, and the other is at a slight curve. On top of Nimbus, we have a piece that we can remove to take advantage of the support stand that comes with the set. Wait, no it doesn't. Well, that's okay. At least we have a support stand and arms to plug into the bottom of Nimbus, and it doesn't come with that either. You would think for 100 USD, this set would come with a couple support stands, but if you got some support stands and arms laying around, it's not a problem. And if you're needing some, you can pick up a pack of 8 on Amazon for under $20. And you will definitely need them if you intend on displaying Goku and Gohan on Nimbus. There is no living life on the edge here. You either use them, or you have Nimbus and company take out your entire shelf. Now, given everything that this release comes with, there's not much else I could ask for. If you're upset Goku didn't come with all his standard hands, you can pick up a Sand Raised on Earth Goku and all those hands will interchange. And, as I mentioned, the skin tone is almost a perfect match. But now that I mention it, I guess Goku could have came with a few more faceplates, given the fact that this is probably going to be a one and done thing, and they're probably not going to make any more faces for this release. A bit of a bummer, but we obviously know what this set was intended to be. But anywho, let's move on to the articulation. Alright, let's get into the articulation here for Goku and Gohan. Now, Goku here obviously is going to be the same 2.0 body that we've seen on countless other Gokus. Gohan, on the other hand, is going to be entirely new. The last time we got a Kid Gohan this size was with the Raditz release a year ago. This guy is going to be more articulated than that release. So, let's go ahead and get Gohan out of the way, set him aside, and run through Goku real quick, because this will be pretty simple. Starting at the head and working our way down, Goku here is going to be on a ball hinge that allows him to look up about this high, and look down about neutral. Once you start playing with the neck, you can get Goku to look down fairly decently, actually. Looking up, it's pretty good. And your side to side with the neck joint is pretty solid. Now again, because it is a ball hinge, you do have to rotate the ball hinge however you want it to get a little bit more range, but I will note that this ball hinge is a lot beefier than previous Gokus, so it's pretty good. 2.0, I should point that out. 3.0 is a double ball peg, but anyways. Moving on. Shoulders. The sleeves are going to be pegged into the back, and they do move out of the way so Goku can raise those arms up about yay high. Get the other one out of the way. It is definitely not T-pose worthy. It's pretty mediocre if you ask me. We do get some decent butterfly joints. But again, as I've stated with other Gokus, the most you're going to get out of the range of Goku is just to bring the arms in at the biceps, at the top of the shoulder and bicep. Any further than that, which it does work. You do get a little bit more range, but it doesn't let you bring them in that much closer. And another thing to point out, $100 figure set, and the inside of his butterfly joint is not color matched to the gi. See, we're still doing that. Anywho, bicep swivel does rotate a full 360. It's very snug, good, solid fit. We got double jointed elbows and ball hinges for the wrist bags. For the chest, Goku here does have a bit of an ab crunch. Get the arm out of the way. He can lean back fairly decently. And he does have a bit of a torso extension. It's pretty good. We do get a little bit of twisting up top. A little bit of side to side. And I will note that the promotional photos of Goku holding Gohan on Nimbus, where he's like facing towards, like he's kind of at an angle surfing on Nimbus, this lines up with that crease down here. I cannot get that to do this with this figure, and I'm not going to push it. So beware of that. If you do it yourself, you may take the risk of potentially breaking something. I'm sure the prototypes have just a little bit more range than what we're accustomed to. That said, Goku's waist does rotate just a smidge, not much. For the legs, we do have no butt cheeks, so we can get Goku to kick out about 180 degrees, but at the cost of the 45 degree splits, which I'm perfectly fine with. It's not a deal breaker. And then Goku here does have an upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and a little bit of ankle rocking. A little bit of an ankle rocker going on. Going in is pretty good. Going out, not as good as going in, but gets the job done. Bringing the foot down, about like so, and bringing them in about like that. The toe hinges, oh my goodness, like Goku's foot is broken. Those toes are dunzo. That's insane to me. All right, so that's Goku. Let's set him aside and take a look at Gohan. All right, now it's time for Gohan. Starting ahead and working our way down, Gohan's going to be able to look up about that far and look down that far thanks to the double ball peg. And because of that, he can do this. It's pretty good. The arms do T-pose greater than 180 degrees, and they do rotate a full 360. The hands do have a little bit of articulation to them, not much. And the chest is going to have an ab crunch. Now, if you want Gohan to sit, there's a reason why they pack this outfit with them. So obviously you've seen the accessory portion of the review, so you know how this goes on. And that's what it's for, so you can sit without causing this to form to this position. For the feet, the last point, oh, nope, we got two more. 3. The feet do move just a little bit, not much. Do get a little bit side to side, or at least you can rotate it up and down, not much. The tail itself pegs into the back of Gohan's buttocks and does rotate. It's on a ball peg. And then lastly, the ponytail. The ponytail is on a ball peg as well that plugs into the back of Gohan's head, and it's, pretty straightforward. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there is at least 13 points of articulation here on Gohan. 2 at the feet, 1 at the torso, 4 makes the tail, 6 makes the hands, 8 for the arms, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. I could be wrong. Could be 12, could be 13. Y'all can let me know. So, overall. Again. Goku, it's nothing new. Gohan, on the other hand, new sculpt, new articulation, but it's a little guy. I just wish that Gohan here had legs that articulated, but then we would probably run into some scaling issues and then also having issues getting this to swap over. So overall, these are going to be able to do what you need to do whenever you're posing them with Nimbus, so they get a pass. Let's move on to some comparisons now. For the comparisons, we have Goku and Gohan next to Gohan's real dad, Piccolo, the proud Namekian, Goku's brother and Gohan's favorite uncle, Raditz, the event exclusive Trunks from Dragon Ball Super, and the event exclusive Final Battle Jiren. For the head swaps, we'll be taking a look at this Goku's head sculpt on the following bodies: the Saiyan Raised on Earth body, the Full Power Super Saiyan body, the Ultra Instinct Sign body, and the Ultra Instinct body. And to tie this section off, here's a look at the head sculpts on the Chala Head-Chala Goku body. Now for my favorites out of these head swaps, I'm actually digging the Ultra Instinct head sculpt on the Chala Head-Chala body. Which one's your favorite? And for that head sculpt, I actually like the way it looks on the Ultra Instinct Sign body. Especially with the teeth gritting face. It is giving me Namek Saga vibes, and I love it. So for my closing thoughts on this event exclusive, it definitely holds my title for the best event exclusive of 2024. Unless something else comes out of nowhere and sucker punches me. But as of right now, I don't see it happening. I would definitely argue that this release is Tamashii Nation's perfect little love letter to Dragon Ball Z. Aside from my minor gripes that I had with Goku, Gohan, and Nimbus, I think it's a solid release and maybe even contender for the best San Diego Comic-Con event exclusive to date. Now I say contender because it's going to take one hell of a figure to topple the 2016 Broly, or hell, even the Holy Grail himself, the 2011 Super Saiyan Goku. But I know y'all are asking yourselves the big question here, is this set worth getting right now? I'm going to divide that thought in two. One for those of you that can purchase through Premium Bandai, and the other half of you who have to resort to third-party methods like eBay and Big Bad Toy Store. If you have to go through Premium Bandai, do it. I assure you that while this figure may almost be perfect in my opinion, it's not perfect enough to pay scalper prices to have it shipped to your door at this very moment. If you don't mind waiting 7 months, then pre-order as soon as you can. There may not be an immediate rush, but don't drag your feet either. You'll wind up regretting it. Now, for those of you that have to resort to third-party methods, I would argue for y'all that between now and February of 2025, when these release and the market becomes saturated, you've got time to really ask yourselves, is this worth it before pulling the trigger? Again, the pack is great, but it's not twice the MSRP great. I went ahead and bought this year's event exclusives off eBay because I wanted to provide an honest review for y'all while there's still time to think the purchase over. I'm a pretty die-hard collector of this line, and that means I'll begrudgingly pick up at least one of each figure so I don't have to pay twice the figure's original price later down the road. That's definitely my choice, but if you can live without this set, then more power to you. Event exclusives are not meant for everyone. In my news update video, people were quick to shout that we don't want exclusives, we want figures. Bubba, we are getting figures, and these exclusives do not take away from what Tamashii has laid out before us when it comes to their release schedule. These are just extra figures that if you don't want because you already own the original, or you simply can't afford it, you can safely pass. Again, these are made with a specific audience in mind, but with that said, I'll definitely get up in arms with y'all when it comes to figures like Ultra Instinct signed Goku or Super Saiyan 2 Goku. I personally think those two sculpts should not have been locked behind event exclusives given how the community has been screaming for a blue undershirt Goku or a Super Saiyan 2 head sculpt. But anywho, I'm getting a little too ranty and my elitism is starting to show, so let's go ahead and wrap this one up. In summary, this Goku, Gohan, and Nimbus pack are worth the price tag of 100 USD. It's going to come with everything you need to recreate some of your favorite moments from the opening, and it's been a blast to play around with getting photos for this review. Hell, I'll even say it, these figures have been some of the most photogenic that I've reviewed up to this point. So if you must have this set, it is easily a pickup if you're a true fan of the series, and I highly recommend it over Trunks and Jiren, which I'm in the process of doing those reviews too, so stay tuned for those. But anywho, that brings us to the end of the review. I want to thank you, the viewer, for sticking around to the end and listening to me rant. If you haven't already, kindly hit the like button and subscribe, as it helps me out and keeps the channel growing. Plus, I've got other videos on the channel and more to come. And I'd also like to hear your thoughts on this release and how you feel about event exclusives as a whole. Might even build on those thoughts for an actual discussion video. But as always, this has been Elite Reviews, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.